Good afternoon, Dr. Jones and my fellow classmates. I am Jordan Koolhoff. If you were presented with 72 objects, a woman, and freed from the responsibilities of your actions, what would you do? Today, I would like to introduce you to Marina Abramovic. She is a still practicing pioneer of the performance art world. She has inspired me to both push myself mentally and artistically, and to focus on mediums that I would not typically explore personally. Today I'm going to be overviewing her upbringing, her rhythm series, specifically Rhythm 5 and Rhythm 0, as well as the artistic impact of her artwork. My references include Nancy Spector, Marina Abramovic's Rhythm 0, written in 1975 and published by the Guggenheim Museum, John Cunningham's Encyclopedia Britannica article from 2021 titled Marina Abramovic, Perry's article Artistic Influences of Abramovic, the Grandmother of Performance Art, written in 2015, Lorenzo Chiara, Marina Abramovic Art Pieces You Should Know, also written in 2015, Rachel Gershman's Marina Abramovic Artist Overview Analysis from 2021, and lastly, the MoMA published Marina Abramovic Rhythm 0 audio from 1974. I would like to begin with her upbringing. She was born in 1947 in Belgrade, Yugoslavia. She likes to comment on the fact that she was born in a country that no longer exists. This is due to the political turmoil that happened just around the time that she was born of World War II. Because of the political disturbances, the country of Yugoslavia was actually disbanded and became Serbia soon after her birth. Her parents actually fought in World War II. They were on the side of the partisans, and after the war they were actually given governmental jobs. Because of this work, she was made to live with her grandmother for a duration of her childhood. Her grandmother was quite religious, so she would regularly attend religious rituals and ceremonies. About the time that her brother was born was the time that she actually went to live with her parents again, and her parents had quite a rough marriage, unfortunately. Abramovic would recount on interviews in later years about how there were numerous fights within the household between her parents and how she felt very terrified in that situation. Marina Abramovic is known to push the physical and mental boundaries that she herself has and that her audience has. I chose to focus on Rhythm 5 and Rhythm 0. Rhythm 5 was a piece she performed in 1974 at the age of 28. She completed this piece all before 10 p.m. because of her mother's militant style of parenting, which kept her from leaving the house after 10. The piece consisted of the 5-pointed star, which would be set on fire at the beginning of the performance. She would walk around the star, cutting off pieces of herself, such as hair, toenail clippings, or fingernail clippings. These would produce a burst of flame from the star, and at the final act, she would actually leap into the center of the burning star. She did not know at the time, but because of the lack of oxygen in the center of the star, she would actually lose consciousness. This wasn't brought to light until an audience member noticed that she was not moving and the flames were getting dangerously close to her. She unfortunately had to be transported to the hospital because of serious burns as well as injuries from the event, but she was completely fine afterwards. The burning star was a form of purification and was representative of the communist star, specifically her heritage. Rhythm 0 was a work that was followed in 1974, also at the age of 28. Rhythm 0 went to have an audience involvement, and this was something that was becoming more common with the performance artists at the time. According to MoMA's audio recording interview, Marina Abramovic, Rhythm 0, 1974, Abramovic laid out 72 items with the instructions. There are 72 objects on the table. This one you can use. That one can use on me as desired. I am the object. During this period, I take full responsibility. Duration 6 hours from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. These items ranged from feathers and grapes to a whip and a gun. The intent of this piece was seeing what the audience would do. It let the actions and inactions be in the hands of those who usually observed. At first, the interactions were passive. The people would pick a rose into her hair, or they would pick up the paint that was provided and write something on her arm or across her clothes. Soon, these actions became more progressive and more aggressive. At one point, a woman actually pressed the gun loaded with one bullet into the palm of her hand and raised her hand to her head, to her temple. They cut and even drank her blood during this performance. After the duration of the piece was through, Abramovic began to regain her own mobility, and she moved on her own and began to cry. This is an image of her after the event. Obviously, you can see that she is quite battered to a degree. The audience members who before threatened her life ran away from the exhibit. This piece was what made Abramovic known for as she is. It was revered in the psychological community as well as in the artistic community. Abramovic is now known as the grandmother of performance artwork because of works like this. Her legacy has grown, but what these pieces have done for the art world and beyond are tremendous. These pieces took away the stereotype that performance art and artists are sensational and sadistic. Since Abramovic stood passively in the performance of Rhythm Zero, it demonstrated that not all performance artworks are aggressive. The ideology of pushing the body and the mind to their limits and the way of conveying topics through mediums like this were controversial and definitely pushed the topic of the piece for the audience. Pieces such as these have sparked inspiration and ideas in the minds of artistic individuals everywhere. According to my references, Coco Fusco, a well-known visual artist of numerous platforms, draws inspiration from the body movement, which Abramovic was a part of. Anne Mendieta was also seen to draw inspiration from Abramovic. She draws from her heritage and uses stark imagery as a way of expressing connections between humans. While these are a few of the artists Abramovic has influenced through her work, there are countless other instances of artworks and artists who drew inspiration from the amazing career of this woman. At this time, I would like to open the floor to any questions you may have about Marina Abramovic. Feel free to pause the video and I will obviously respond if you have any. To conclude, Marina Abramovic is an inspiration to artists around the world. She came from a strict upbringing, she grew into an impressive and intriguing art career, and the impact that she has on the global art world is astronomical. Thank you for all of your time and attention.